everyone. This is me and my talk topic. This is mostly about routing dispatching, and I want to talk about Catalyst first, which describes itself as a web framework, which is true. But it's more interesting to see not what it says about itself, but what it actually does. So apart from Dave Wood, do we have any Catalyst experts or no in the audience? No? Okay. So the core part of Catalyst, there are of course the MVC parts. The views and the models are exchangeable and pluggable, so this is not its core function. These views and models inherit from a superclass, which is called component, and this basically glues the stuff together. More interesting, and what Catalyst actually does is the dispatching interface and logic, the controller part. So, and these are called actions. And actions can be declared or configured in one of two ways. The one which is presented in the tutorial and what most people use is as a subroutine attribute. So some stuff here after is recognized by Catalyst and then acted upon, like path, arcs, change, and so on. You can put it here. Or you can configure it class-wide, put it in a configuration at the top of your controller class, and all the stuff which is here can also be put into this href, and it works the same. And if you want to do something with your dispatching and routing, which is not available in core Catalyst yet, you can use an action role which extends and modifies this existing system. No, so far so good. My least favorite action role is query parameter, because so first I explain what it does. It of course dispatches on a URI, because this is what most action roles do. And when you have a URI such as this, it inspects these parts and does something. So the matching part is what an action role does. It's useful, for example, query parameters and paging. When you say page equals 1, then you can do something different on your first page of your search results and so on. This is the use case. And some quote from the documentation. What happens when you have several possible matches? For example, you know, pages smaller than 20, or you have a query parameter which may exist or not. What happens then? The documentation says Catalyst will call the match method on each in turn here until it finds one that returns a successful match. This matching process starts from the bottom up, last to first, which means that you should place your most specific matches at the bottom, and so on. So in other words, this requires you to restructure your code to accommodate the Catalyst internal matching method, which is not nice at all. This is why I don't like it. But wait, there's even more. If you're using chained, then you need to rewrite your code. Just turn it around so it still works. So this is amazing. Now, of course, the implementation of the action role could be fixed with some minor tweaks. It could be made position independent. But the general problem got me thinking, which is, you know, a dangerous proposition. So that reminded me of something. What else is ordered? You know, where the order of things play a role. This is happening in HTTP negotiation. You can put some request headers in here. These are ordered and also they have a quality value. And this enables the server to negotiate with the client and picking the appropriate response resource. And my idea of a new kind of dispatching is to generalize this concept, which we know already from the accept headers, and make possible the same sort of negotiation or candidate selection, candidate choosing, dispatching on any part of a request. And the candidate must, of course, supply information about itself, and the choosing or selecting part will then figure out which one is the best response possible. So let's have a look at the editor. Some code example. Is it readable? Okay, good. So let's consider this HTTP request. Host example com/foo, then query parameter page equals 1. And here are some candidates expressed as a data structure, because I do not want to couple this to Catalyst yet. And the algorithm should select from the set of candidates according to the request. And let's see, we have each candidate should oh, that's not good. No. Each candidate should supply a dispatch code ref, which in a normal case creates a response, or perhaps you would like to munge the request and then try to redispatch, sort of like Catalyst chained actions do. Both of these must match on the foo part of the path, and the one has a page query parameter, and the other one doesn't specify anything, so it doesn't matter whether there is a query parameter of anything, and a quality value of a half. So, and this generalized choosing or selection algorithm, which is also part of the HTTP spec in its concrete form with the accept headers, then figures out, we have a parameter, and its innate quality value, which is not displayed here, is 1, quality 1. So if it is the quality 1, you can leave it away. Then, of course, this first data structure or this first candidate is selected. And the other one is not, because it has a lower quality value. That would also match, because this one doesn't care whether there is a page parameter or not, but it won't be the first selection, won't be the first candidate because of the lower quality value. And this solves the ordering problem I have pointed out in the Catalyst action role query parameter. A more complicated case. Let's consider the value of the page parameter. Both of these are true, both of these match, because in the request it said page equals 1, so it is smaller than 20 and it is also equal to 1. But here the quality is 1, and here the quality is less, because we declare this one is more specific than the other one. And then the selection algorithm will select the second candidate. So far, so clear? Okay. And let's have a look how some other popular action rules might be implemented in this system. Catalyst provides on CPAN the action rule bundled together called require SSL and no SSL. And this could, the interface for this could look like this in my proposed dispatch system. We require that the request is secure, and also say quality is 1. And again, if it is 1, then we might as well leave it away. This is just for showing a bit more verbose. And this might be an interface for the opposite, so making sure that the request is not secure. So I'm not quite happy with the negation. I have introduced here some keywords. Perhaps you have a better idea how this could be solved. Otherwise, you could say require equals require with a parameter 0, which is the same as for bit equals 1, and shows the opposite. And the implementation of this is just testing in the request object, getting the URI object from it, and checking the secure attribute, which is part of the URI class. Yep. And another popular action rule people additionally install is trailing slash. And the purpose of this is making sure that you do not have resources which end with no slash and a slash, because you know this is bad for caching. So the resource with no slash will redirect first to the one with a slash, and this is the task of the trailing slash action method. So the dispatch will create a redirect here, and trailing slash we forbid that it has a trailing slash, so this candidate will match or will be selected, and again quality with 1. And the check of this keyword could be just testing the last character of the URI path part. And what if all of this is not enough? If you need to write your own implementation of matching, in the Apache mod Perl book, there's a nice example called Werewolf, which checks the moon phase and then either allows or forbids access to the server. And if you search on cpan for Werewolf, you will also find example implementations for mod Perl 2 and Plague. And it might look like this. So we have a generic code thing which is tested, and then if it returns true, the dispatch happens. If not, it will not be selected as a candidate. And again, you could also possibly, for other use cases, supply some quality values here to reorder the selection for several possible matching candidates. Okay. Back to the... as you have seen in the example, I'm working with data structures because it's more flexible. And Perl 5 doesn't have multi-dispatch anyway, so Catalyst doesn't help us. We can say sub colon and some sub attributes, but since we have multiple candidates, we have no multi-keyword. So let's work on data structures, or perhaps classes later again. And I'm still only thinking about it. I haven't written any code except for this example, and I want to nail down the interface first. So I'm opening the questions now for feedback. I'm very interested in what you think about this. We have still a couple of minutes.
No Catalyst users, no questions? Or
It looks like.
okay, if there aren't any questions, let's take a break, coffee break. There should be cake again in the restaurant, and we'll continue in 11:30.